Good morning, everyone. Oh, I didn't even think you're on here now. I was planning to add you later, but this makes more sense. Hello, welcome, welcome to LPTV Disney Morning Show. Trying to think. I don't have. Wait, give me a second. This is stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. Why do I bother?
We have a top banner you can put on.
I'm looking for it. There it is. All right.
Well, it's under brand, not banners. I don't know if that's helping you. Anyway, this is the morning news show.
Go for it, Kyle. You're doing great.
Yeah, morning news show, LP News. We're going to go through several different things today, including we have our special guest, Rebecca. As you can see, she's going to share some fun stuff with us, and we're going to have all our regular segments. So, Doobie, why don't we jump into what we start with every show?
I want to introduce us first. I mean, you kind of did, but
No.
I'm Doobie Mosley. I'm the co-founder of Laughing Place. Below me is my wife, Rebecca Mosley. She is the other co-founder of Laughing Place. Together, we are the founders of Laughing Place. And the man over there is the guy without whom there would be no Laughing Place today, because as I am finding out this week, he does a whole lot of stuff. That is Kyle Burbank, our managing editor and our general number 2. How you doing, Kyle?
Thank you, General.
I like this setting, Kyle. This is a good look.
Well,
we call him
probably not going to last too long.
We call him the professor. Get a good picture of it, and then you can use it as a green screen.
Because
I was
really
thinking about
like
that.
Yeah.
The professor. All right. So, Doobie in the office, Kyle in the study. Help you, Rebecca, on assignment. Who did that?
Well, she did hers, and then I themed the other ones.
Okay.
Sounds like we're playing Clue.
I like that. Doobie in the office. Is that like Jenny down the block? Is that similar?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. That's as hip as I get. Let's get started as we do every day at this time.
20-year-old music references. That's
I realize it's not hip, Kyle. You did not have to drive it home. All right. Yesterday we reached 3 digits in the stocks. What is Kyle saying we're up to now? Down. Let's find out. I hit refresh. We're looking at Little Mermaid, and as we scroll, we are under the Mendoza. Now, Kyle, what financial acumen led you to know this would happen?
I've just guessed. I don't know.
It's the kind of expertise you get here at Laughing Place.
I haven't been looking too much at the actual economics today, only at new credit card options. So,
Kyle's real job. No, not your real job. Your other job. This is your real job now, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
The one that pays me more is my real job, so it's not this one.
That is accurate, and we don't. It's probably not the right public conversation, but I'm surprised by that. We have to have a talk with somebody. The other thing we do at this time is is Ethan around?
Ethan's here. Is it playing for anyone?
No.
Good morning, Laughing Place fam. Guess what? It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Partying, yeah. Good luck getting that song out of your head while we look at the weather. Disneyland will be partly cloudy for most of the day, but will clear for a few hours of sunshine before the evening, with a high of 65. This is Kyle's pick of the day. At Walt Disney World, it's starting to look almost like summer mode as scattered thunderstorms are expected in the early afternoon. Say, what time is the 3 o'clock storm? I'm betting Doobie also likes this aspect of Florida along with the 86-degree high and 50% humidity. So let's call this his pick of the day. Castaway Cay will be overcast starting around noon with a small chance of showers in the evening. They'll top out at 83 today. Disneyland Paris is seeing more light rains today and will likely see even more overnight after a possible break. Their temperatures are currently in the upper 40s, which means that Floridian Jeremiah is absolutely freezing. Tokyo is looking at a rainy Saturday tomorrow and will barely cross 60 degrees. Shanghai will be partly cloudy with a high of 75 tomorrow, although a shower or two is possible in the late evening. Lastly, Hong Kong will crack the 80s tomorrow, but the 72% humidity will make it feel more like 86. Yuck. As a reminder, yesterday was Thursday. Today it is Friday. We so excited. Tomorrow is Saturday and Sunday comes afterwards. But I'll see you all on Monday. Bye for now.
Looking forward to the weekend.
I like that Friday song. It's bad, but I really enjoy listening to it. Rebecca Black is my hero. How can the same Ethan
Even she
pronounce
spells her
this?
name wrong.
You know.
How does Ethan pronounce the same word differently on different shows?
Don't know.
Disneyland today. It was bizarre. The Days of the Week by Ethan. And yes, Ethan going clubbing, which is something I'd like to see. He needs to, I don't know how much Ethan takes input. Can we get him to loosen up a little bit, not just be so staid in his posture?
We'll see.
Okay.
In his posture, that's going to take more work because he's got a very limited number of seconds of mobility. He might just keep doing the same gestures, even if they don't match with anything.
I do a lot of UJAM. I see a lot of people whose gestures don't match with anything that's supposed to be going on.
The weather has taken a turn since you left, Doobie. While you were
Yeah.
here, the humidity was very minimal, but since you left, it's back to that more Florida kind of cling to you a little bit more.
And is the sun out?
Most of the day. It was funny that, you know, one of the things that's really fascinating here is just how isolated these when they say isolated thunderstorms in Central Florida, they legitimately mean it is quite legitimately isolated. Anita, my friend from Ohio, is visiting here right now for Run Disney, and she was at the Coronado, and she's like, it's pouring rain, and I drove all the way from my family's home in Kissimmee all the way up to Universal. Didn't see a drop of rain, but then we entered Poseidon's Fury. When we came out, everything was drenched. So apparently
While you were there,
inside that attraction, a storm just rolled through, because I'm serious. It was drenched. The ground was drenched when we walked out. So yeah.
One of the fun things to do in Florida is if you're at someplace high, like at top of one of the hotels, you can literally look out and see the rain. You can see where it's raining, and you can sometimes watch it come right towards you. And it's just bizarre. And it's not raining there, it's not raining there, and right there it is a full-on thunderstorm going crazy. I was in Florida for about a week. I got back a little over a week, actually, and I got back Wednesday night. So I did the show yesterday. My wife was there with me, along with my son. They are still there. They get an extra week there while I am back here. So that is the logistics of what's going on as we continue today's conversation. We're going to start with one of the reasons Rebecca's out there, and that was something new going on at Cirque du Soleil, drawn to animation. What did you learn yesterday, Rebecca?
Well, first of all, it's called Drawn to Life. And
wow. You see, you could have done that a little. Never mind. Go on. My mistake.
And they shared two new acts that they have brought to Drawn to Life. One of the things that Cirque du Soleil is able to do is they have an overarching story with their various shows, and from time to time they're able to kind of massage it and add new elements here and there that stay within that overarching story, but maybe bring a different dimension or aspect to the tale. Drawn to Life is the story of a young girl and a connection she has with her father through animation. And it pays homage to Walt's Nine Old Men. It pays homage to the Women of Ink and Paint. No, just really beautiful. Did you have, you can, those are some of the performers.
I have the video. So we have a video on YouTube that shows just some clips from the show, from the two new acts that Rebecca will tell us about right now.
So this one it focuses on the recreation that, here, can you pause it for just a moment? Because this one with the animal actors, as it were, it kind of taking you back into the time. You see off to the right on stage is an animator, and this is harkening back to those sequences we've seen with like Bambi, where the animators would watch the woodland animals and draw upon those references, those live action references for the animation. And so they recreate it with this acrobatic act. Just really talented individuals. Most of the act is mirroring. So you have these two critters, woodland critters, bouncing around the forest, and you have the animator off in the distance, sketching and taking down the reference there. And then in this segment, we're honoring the Women of Ink and Paint. So you have the foundational colors, and they use the artists in the background and periodically throughout it, various elements of Mary Blair's visuals would be accentuated around these artists, and just really bringing to life her artwork in a different way. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about a Disney vacation, and one of the things that to me is so important about what Disney is in general, and that is it opens your eyes to the various ways of storytelling, the various ways of expressing who you are, expressing your point of view. In your Walt Disney World theme park experience, you can see the story of Nemo in a live action play with puppeteering and singing, or you can go on a dark ride and see the characters that way, or there's fireworks with music, and somehow you're having that same kind of those stories, those feelings are expressed that way. And now even with Cirque du Soleil, you can see kind of that storytelling brought to life through the acrobatics, through the music. And one of the things that I had forgotten during this presentation, we got to hear from the musical I don't remember his exact title, but I'm going to say musical director, and they're doing like film score live, because they have a live orchestra that accompanies all these amazing acrobatic acts, and they aren't always going to go exactly according to plan, right? Sometimes maybe a juggler might drop one of his pieces, or maybe somebody might stumble just a little bit, and then they have to vamp a little bit, and so they're doing live film score in essence there, and just such there's a neat dynamic nature to it. And they have a live vocalist on stage who's amazing, and she actually was responsible for a new song that's been added along with these new acts. So just a reminder to me of what a unique experience Cirque du Soleil is, and it's tremendously accessible. It's 90 minutes, so it's not horrifically long if you have younger kids, and it's there at Disney Springs. They have matinee showings as well. I'm sure in our article we published all the information about like the specific show times for it, but highly recommend it. They've done a beautiful job with weaving in the Disney content, so that I think it's even more accessible now to kids. Before, La Nuba had a nice energy flow that I think was great for all ages, but this one also has those accompanying visuals that I think will help maintain kids' interest throughout kind of they do a great job with having a beautiful but then high energy, so it can maintain that fun of the circus, right? The circus tent. So yeah.
And you've actually seen yesterday was just a preview of these two acts,
Correct.
which you've seen the entire show before. So
yes, my sister and I attended it, and it's a father-daughter story. And so the two of us both adore our dad, and so we both sat there weeping like little girls. Very little, like, we were very happy to be together, because we were both looking at each other like, oh yeah, okay, that gets you. So
that's sweet.
Yeah, cool. But no, totally adore it. And
so as someone
I can't believe you haven't been yet. We have to put that on the list.
I love Cirque du Soleil in general. I mean, love it. And Rebecca and I, by the way, our very first actual date was to a Cirque du Soleil show on the Santa Monica Pier. And I love La Nuba, and somehow I still have not seen Drawn to Life. So I am anxious to finally see it. So you're a regular at Disney World. People talk to you all the time about planning their trips. Obviously, we're Disney experts and they want help. What is your opinion on taking time away from the parks and putting out the extra money to go see something like Drawn to Life?
It's a nice change. I mean, it's a nice way of staying in that Disney bubble, but yet having a change of pace. Because it definitely is very, it's much more laid back. It's a little bit elevated. You don't have to dress up for it, because it is within this theme park environment, and it's everything. It has a much more casual kind of veneer to it than it might if you were going to maybe see a show see Circuit in Vegas, or like we did in Santa Monica. I think there's just a different vibe to it. It's a bit more a bit more casual. I found when we've been to it at Walt Disney World, but as far as taking time away from the parks, it's a nice respite, but yet still has that Disney magic and still isn't necessarily something you're just going to find on your doorstep at home. And that's what's really, really special about Walt Disney World, is the uniqueness of the opportunities that you can find.
Are you a Cirque fan, Kyle?
I've only seen a couple of shows, and they're usually ones that aren't the main one. So I saw an Avatar. The first one I ever saw was an Avatar one that
Disney.
was in Tulsa. It was like an arena tour. And that one I didn't care too much for. Like, it felt like the stage was too big and it felt like it was a little repetitive. But I did see, forget which other one I saw. Oh, we saw one, the Michael Jackson one at Mandalay. I really liked that one. And then we saw Mad Apple, which is more of a variety show. So it's not just Cirque. It's like Cirque and comedy and magic and all sorts of stuff. And that was also kind of enjoyable. But yeah, if you've seen a few of them, you start to see like some similar acts over and over. So it's really just what context they put those into that really does make a difference.
Do they still have the water one? That's the one I really want to see.
Yeah, it's at Bellagio.
Cirque combined with water just sounds so awesome to me. So
I've heard tremendous things about one.
Yeah, and they have a Beatles. They have a Beatles one, right?
Yep, that's at Mirage. It might not be there very much longer because MGM just sold Mirage to Hard Rock. So you would think the Beatles would fit in there, but maybe not.
And is there a U2 one, or was there a U2 one? I feel like there was a U2 one, but maybe not.
It's possible. It might have been a touring one. It might not have been Vegas, or it might have been somewhere else.
I may be confusing that with one because one is also a U2 song, but I'm glad we got a chance here to exhibit that Kyle is also our vice president of Las Vegas. He knows
right?
pretty well. So that was cool. All right. Well, thanks for that update, Rebecca. We're not going to let you go just yet, even though apparently I found out you have things to do today, but I'm going to keep you on a little bit longer. So how did you spend your yesterday?
Let's see. Yesterday, late. So after the event at Disney Springs, I actually I don't think we've been before to Everglazed, right? Had we gone?
No.
So I grabbed a few donuts before heading home, and they're obscene and delicious. Since I'm staying with my family, I went ahead and got 4 because I figured, you can kind of share them, and that way I could sample a variety. I got I think they call it the Brooklyn. Yeah, that's the picture. The Brooklyn Blackout, an apple streusel one, chocolate with sprinkles, and then the cinnamon toast crunch.
I'm so mad at you right now.
My absolute favorite is the chocolate I think they call it Brooklyn Blackout, and it's just chocolate upon chocolate upon chocolate. It was so good. And these donuts are like, they're like this big around. They're like a super small, maybe like a tea dish, like, you put under a teacup. The cinnamon toast crunch one, the cereal is a bit stale. So it didn't. So that one I would not get again. I would go for one of the peanut butter explosion, one of the peanut buttery ones that they had that I didn't pick up, because I've heard similar complaints about the Fruity Pebbles. Like, sometimes depending on when you get it, the cereal can seem stale.
Did you get a shake? Because I know they have some fun shakes.
No, I'm not a ice cream fan like you.
Did Gideon enjoy the sprinkle one?
He seemed, it was okay. He wasn't a huge fan. It was okay. It was okay.
Okay. He gave it a try.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So they were super tasty. I want to say they were. I want to say they were. No, I want to say they were about $5 each. Oh, never mind. Gideon is telling me thumbs up on the.
Okay.
So I misread.
Breaking news: Gideon has updated his opinion of the sprinkles.
so yeah. But no, they were
Sugar
really,
wax
really,
is good.
They were super, super tasty. But I need to go to Disney Springs more often, because I used to go all the time when it was downtown Disney, and then we moved and they did this whole redo while we were gone. And I still feel like a newbie every time I'm there. I can't quite get a firm grasp on enough landmarks yet to really feel like so I literally was using Google Maps. I directed me to where I need to go, because there's like several little bridges to things, and it's like I still haven't quite navigated exactly where, like a friend, Anita's meeting some people at Paradiso 37 today, and I was like trying to think what's adjacent to it, and I don't have that locked in. I don't have that locked in yet. I mean, I will.
Isn't it
but
near mannequins?
right? Exactly.
Well, it's kind of over by like, I think of like you have Cirque and then Boathouse. Like those are the two far ends for me. But then like you're right, there's little parts that kind of get hidden. Like there's times where I'm like, where is Blaze again? It's like tucked in the middle of its
Yeah.
own little corner.
But I love that about it. I mean, obviously it would get lost, but I love that it's just got its little pathways and exploration. Kind of why I like the Disney Wish. I love that about Disney Springs now.
I mean, and Gio points out, he's like, he stopped by there the other day during his recent trip, and I talked to him shortly after, and he was like, he was surprised by how long he'd end up staying, because he just meandering, caught up with some friends. He caught up with Jeremiah for a little bit before Jeremiah went over to Paris. So yeah.
I love Disney Springs and what they've done with that place. It's so awesome. All right, and then after Disney Springs,
we went to Universal Studios Islands of Adventure because Poseidon's Fury has been announced as permanently closing in May, and
May
it's a
9th is its
favorite
last
of
day.
our teenagers.
Yes. May 9th is its final day. I just wanted to
Okay.
say that. Okay, so go on.
And so he wanted to let him give it a fond farewell. So Tony Betty and Morgan, I don't know why I always say both his names, Tony and Morgan, joined us, and Giddy and I ended up experiencing 4 shows of Poseidon's Fury. And for those of you who don't know what this is, it's a live theatrical presentation, and the premise is that there is this temple that you enter. You're on this tour, and surprise, surprise, something goes horribly wrong when an ancient demon is unleashed by the tour guide who has read this incantation aloud. And so you're trapped in this temple now with this ancient dark spirit, and you need to be saved, and through various like mist screened film and lasers, fire, these kinds of effects. There's like a large, they ask you not to film or video inside, so very few images from me are out there, but you can find it on YouTube. But yeah, whenever I'm there, and Kyle, you can let me know if I'm totally off with this, but whenever I'm there, I feel like this belongs on the Strip.
It's possible. I've never actually done it, so I can't say for sure.
But the exterior of it definitely reminds you a little bit of Caesars or something you could find in Vegas. It's huge. It's very huge and grand, and yeah,
something you can find in Vegas that they're trying to cover up.
And then inside,
they're trying to get away from those themes, and it's very sad to me.
Yeah,
are they
it'd
really?
Be like old school, like maybe back in the day at Luxor. They used to have a whole level of all these. There was a 3-part story, like attractions, and they're gone. They're just buffet and whatever now.
Well, and I didn't realize it until yesterday evening, in talking with Gideon and Tony as they were kind of nerding out in the queue, because Tony wrote an article for Laughing Place on the kind of the sadness over it going away. So you can read Tony's piece. But I learned that Doobie, the Poseidon's Fury that we would have experienced decade ago or more, when we first visited Islands of Adventure, is a different experience than it is now. That they've actually, made changes to the story since its initial launch.
Thanks to our son, I am well aware of that.
So yeah, but I'm excited to see what comes. I know I doubt it'll be anything that involves live actors, but that's one of the things that I personally have always enjoyed about theme parks, is it kind of gave a lot of young people kind of that kind of foot in the door to improv or acting, whether it be Jungle Cruise skipper, the Jaws boat narration, and Poseidon's Fury, your tour guide. Those kinds of attractions, even the boat ride at Epcot back in the day. I mean, there wasn't a lot of room for improv, but they did have, a chance to make it their own to an extent. And I kind of miss it.
Great movie ride. Definitely.
Great movie ride.
So Poseidon's
That's
Fury,
my
you did
favorite
it.
genre.
I love that, because our son used to think genre, because they said that during the horror movie section. He thought a horror movie was a genre movie. Those two
He used
words
to
were
call it a
synonymous.
genre movie. Yeah, that was the
Well, I mean, he's not wrong, actually. But also, my mom, for whatever reason, one time I went to her house and she was a teacher. So this is especially concerning. She's talking about different genres. I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I'm like, oh, genre? So, yeah, that's fun.
That's funny.
my favorite Kevin Hart story, and Doobie, correct me if I'm wrong on the actor, because I totally associate this story with Kevin Hart, was when he was at one of his first table reads, and he kept reading it as facade because he had never seen the word facade spelled out. I associate that story with Kevin Hart. I feel like he told it on ESPN at some point. But yeah,
I can't say for sure.
I spelled it wrong, like just phonetically, for a long time until I finally, I looked it up and everything. I was like, okay, so yeah,
it is Kevin Hart. I have confirmed via the. I have a story like that. I once dated, as in we went on a one date, a girl who used the word epitome repeatedly. She meant epitome, but she said epitome, which is the epitome of an example of that, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So along with, because if you a certain level of annual pass at Universal, you get Express after 4:00, which means you can bypass the queue and do, in essence, Fast Pass after 4 p.m. But honestly, yesterday we didn't need it. After 4, we were, there until close, and just about everything was walk on for the remainder of the day. Spider-Man. Well, I guess, yeah, Spider-Man. I think Kong had a short wait as well. I know.
Did you do anything else?
Carousel. I did Spider-Man.
You did.
Yeah.
You never do that when we go. I do Spider-Man with Gideon all the time. You always sit it out, and now.
I went, but then I sent him again with Tony, because I'm like, I can't do it again. It's too much. It's too much. But yeah.
So, donuts and Spider-Man. That's when Doobie's gone.
That's when the fun is had. So we were at Disney World. We were in Central Florida for a week before I left, more than a week, and we did a lot. I feel like we did a lot more riding than we normally do on this trip. I don't know. What are just your impressions of your trip to Central Florida so far?
The crowds are we were here during spring, like the height of spring break, Easter weekend and all that, and the crowds were navigable. I don't know if we were just lucking into the lesser park each time or what, but while the wait times were not minimal, it was a navigable process. Getting food, didn't find myself super long waits for food. I didn't find myself in long waits for bathrooms, which is a personal pet peeve of mine, where it's like, after I get off an attraction, I want to have an easily accessible bathroom. I don't want to have to queue up for a bathroom. So I was surprised. It made me curious about what the current tourism trends really are, because I was surprised at how navigable it was. Because I think of this season of the year, this spring break, and sometimes I think of it as being like more challenging than Christmas season. Because while you would have the kind of heightened populace, the heightened crowds, you didn't have that same kind of Christmassy spirit going on. You had the heat. And so I think of it as being usually less easily navigable. But no, we went, like you say, we went on a lot of rides, and we weren't doing like, dusk, dawn to dusk trips. We were often, you would work in the mornings, and then we would head out, later in the day, and have a meal somewhere, and then hit the parks and stay till close. One of the things that I did notice that I didn't know was still a thing because we haven't done it in a long time, is that kind of those late hours in the parks, there's a dramatic drop off in
Yes.
ride times. And
Yeah,
yeah, go
especially
ahead.
Hollywood Studios. We went to
Mhm.
Hollywood Studios one day. I think we went about 8, which was like right when Fantasmic was starting or would soon be starting.
Yeah.
And we were able to do so much stuff during that time leading up till park close.
Very high profile rides had
Yeah.
much lower wait times. Rise of the Resistance was no longer a triple digit wait. It was closer to that 40, 45, maybe an hour mark. Runaway Railway got to the point where it was a walk on.
Yeah.
Star Tours, walk on.
Can't stress enough, if even at the most crowded times of the year, if you want a nice experience at the parks, figure out a way to stay till close, whatever park it is, and you'll be able to get 2 or 3 major rides in with much, much, much shorter waits. I know Rope Drop gets a lot of attention, but that last hour, hour and a half before close should get a lot of attention too. The park is a different place then.
With the caveat of sometimes now they're doing these extra magic extended, like instead of early morning, they're doing it extended in the evening. So, be aware of that, because that would cause a bit of a bump as well. So, in the dynamic, but yeah.
Well, anything else you wanted to mention regarding your trip or any of the stuff you've been working on for LP?
I'm trying to think. No, I think that about does it for me. I want to write about the bounty hunter experience at Galaxy's Edge, and just the data pad experience overall, because I've had a lot of fun doing it, and I think maybe some people have forgotten it's there. And the bounty hunter experience is okay, but the data pad, kind of immersing yourself in a story and taking on jobs and doing these little tasks around Galaxy's Edge, is really fun. And I'm especially noticing a lot of fathers and sons taking it on. And it seems nice, because typically Disney has tended to be much more kind of mother-daughter with the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and a lot of these kinds of experiences. And so to see the fathers, it's very fun to me. And I'm going to roll into a gender stereotype, which, by the way, doesn't at all fit our family. I am the Star Wars geek in our family, and Doobie is not. But I can tell you the trend that I see when I'm at the park is the dad coming around the corner and seeing all the Star Wars stuff, and the mom is like not as engaged in it, but the dad is just totally like slowing down and taking everything in, and like pulling out the phone and taking pictures of stuff. And it's neat to see, because I don't envision a lot of those the men that I'm seeing kind of immersed in that way being as immersed when they spot Ariel or the castle, that kind of dynamic. And like I say, I know that's a generalization, not all the time, but it's just a few moments I've noticed where I really feel like this is Dad's moment. I sometimes it just feels like he's going, finally, yes, here I am, I made it. So it's been fun to watch those happen around me when I've been sitting in Batu, kind of watching people. So
awesome. Before we let you go,
yes.
we're going to change up things. We normally do This Day in Disney History at the end of the show, but we've got a couple of movie synopsises today, and Kyle knows nothing about Disney. I don't know how he got this job, so we're going to keep you on for this one.
I like your shirt, Kyle. It's a Roosevelt's, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the it's one of the Disney 100 ones, but this is the color variant that they had exclusive to C2E2.
Nice. Okay, so the black background is C2E2. It was red at Orlando, right?
Yeah, the same weekend they had it. I think it was a MegaCon. Is that what it's called in Orlando?
Have you seen the tease of the upcoming that's out there? It's like all the character silhouette. It reminds me of the paper lining for a Shop Disney box.
Okay, I don't know if I've seen it, but Becca probably has, and
Okay.
we've also noticed it's when you look at a bunch of different brands like we do, you can see some of the guidelines that Disney must have given them.
Uh-huh. Yep. Totally.
Yeah, I like your shirt too, Kyle. I don't know if Rebecca noticed anyone else might have a cool new shirt that she wants to mention on the show.
Doobie, did you
Yeah,
get a new shirt while you were at Walt
I
Disney World?
did. I got this awesome Skyliner shirt. It says the scenic route, and it's got the bucket down there, and it's got the sleeve.
Well, that
and
would have
it
been a great
also-
segue to another story, but now we got to go to this thing.
Yeah, would have been. And also,
I could have waited.
no, because you won't be here. And this was the time. I segued as it was. Don't act like I didn't have a segue. Okay.
It's not a segue, Skyliner.
And I didn't come with, but there are also some cool blue Skyliner socks, which
Yep.
I don't have on here. I
But
didn't
you have
bring
that
with me.
picture. You have to share
Oh,
that picture I
I'm gonna
took
show
of you
my
with the
picture.
Skyliner.
I'm going to show
This
my
is-
picture right now.
I can't remember if I shared this picture in Slack, Kyle, but Doobie was styling out in
I
front
look
of
good
Hollywood
today.
Studios.
I
Check
look
that
good
out.
today. Yeah, that's right.
And those
So-
are Skyliner socks. You've got little Pluto in a Skyliner bucket on one side and Mickey Mouse in the Skyliner on the other side. So
There
he
you
put
go.
Pluto on the inside and Mickey on the outside.
My Mickey shoes to go with it. So
There was
Well,
much
you should have
debate.
called Jess Mack to do a photo shoot, and then you could have had your own Instagram reel with that song.
For sure.
good. And speaking of Skyliner, see, I can still do the segue. Have you seen the new bucket that's just been announced?
No.
Foodie Friday. These new popcorn buckets are out of this world starting April 17th. You'll still be there. You'll be able to bring your favorite Guardians of the Galaxy along with you on your own foodie adventure with this new premium Skyliner bucket. Get yours at any of the popcorn carts throughout Epcot.
There's a new bucket at the park up north too. Universal has a new bucket that I didn't get a picture of.
I've got my Skyliner bucket back there, the one popcorn for the 50th. Or it is over there. Yes, Rebecca, if you have the opportunity, I would love this one too.
Okay. I will do my best
There
to
it is.
pick one of those up, even though I didn't get to pick up a Universal bucket yesterday. It's toothless. It's so cute.
Who's toothless?
The dragon from How to Train Your Dragon that also looks like a French bulldog that we almost adopted.
It's this bucket is adorable, Kyle. And I did not get a picture of it. I did not see it myself on shelves. I saw a little boy wearing it, so I couldn't take a picture of it because that'd be creepy.
I mean,
It
you have
would.
another. Well,
You're
you're a
right.
teenager, not a little boy anymore.
I know. Yeah, no, kitten. But yeah.
All right, so we've got Rebecca here. We're going to do this. Only got two today. but
Okay.
have synopsis. So first up, this is from 2006. It is a film. An adolescent lion. Oh, that's cool. An adolescent lion named Ryan is accidentally shipped from the New York Zoo to Africa. Now running free, his zoo pals must put aside their differences to help bring him back.
That's not Madagascar.
Wild.
It is
It
the
must
wild.
be the wild.
It is the wild.
Yeah.
Disney's not really Disney, but they distributed it. Answer to Madagascar premiered on this day in 2006. It was not a good movie. We all went to see that at Disney Springs or Downtown Disney, as it was called then, as I recall.
There's a
And we all
koala
thought
on
it
the
was-
poster, so that's good enough for me.
So you saw the wild then, Kyle?
No,
I'm gonna say
I
hi
hope-
to Hope and hi to Hosteen.
Hi guys, thanks for joining us this morning. My wild trailer is not playing, so consider you guys. Oh nope, there it is. There's the wild. If you saw this in a vacuum, you'd say, "Wow, why are they showing a Madagascar?" But nope, this is the wild. It was bad.
Wow, the wild.
3 frames
All
per
right.
second.
I guess Hope is a fan of the Main Street Electrical Parade.
Who isn't, other than
know.
Tony Betty? Tony Betty,
Yeah.
who's a contrarian in every way. On this day in 2009, the same year our child was born, and I will never not think of Gideon when I think of this. A kids show centered around the TV show centered around a special agent in training needs the help of viewers at home in order to complete his missions.
These simple steps. That's all you
Three
need.
simple
3
steps.
simple steps.
Special
And
Agent
you'll
Oso,
succeed.
which I have seen so many episodes of.
Yep. Step 1.
Step
Get your
2.
shoes. Step 2. Put your shoes on your feet. Step 3. Tie
And then
your
decide you
shoes.
have to go potty. All right, that's the way the real world works. Can you? Oh, well, let's see.
Can you? Are you able to say?
Electrosynthomagnetic musical sounds. The Main Street Electrical Parade. Rebecca can do the whole intro, right, Rebecca?
Sure. I acknowledge
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland proudly presents our spectacular festival. Okay.
Legend of
Those are
Nighttime
only
Imagination.
and thousands of sparkling lights and
Electrosynthomagnetic musical sounds. Main Street.
the Main Street Electrical Parade.
And it
Thank
never
you,
sounds
Rebecca,
right
for
when it doesn't
joining
say
us.
Main Street. It's so funny.
I know. Disney's Electrical
Yeah,
Parade.
no, it just doesn't feel right. It's like weird. It's like the
They
TV
could, like,
room
put-
when it doesn't have the Offenbach.
You stay off of my back and I'll stay off of you.
Yep.
Rebecca, thank you very much for joining us today.
Bye.
Appreciate having you here. Wow, we actually turned this short show into a real show just by having you here.
Yeah, it only took,
okay.
half-hour vacation slides.
I like slideshows. I like see what people are doing. It humanizes.
What is
us,
that
Kyle.
from? Where he talks about, is that, it's the Bodine Bakery tour at DCA, right? Where he says, oh, I
I
got
don't know.
vacation slides. And then it's like, no, we're here to learn about bread.
Somehow it's less interesting than vacation slides. But you get free bread at the end, so that's why people
You do.
really go.
Actually, you get free bread at the beginning.
So why do you go through it?
Because it's fun and you're locked in the room at that point. It's not like the first door is closed off. Then you can walk through the exit after you get to the second show.
Because it's fun and because you're locked in the room, not necessarily in that
It is
order.
fun. I enjoy the bakery tour. I mean, it's no Maseka and fresh flour. The most disappointing experience I've ever had at at Disneyland is getting through the tour and then handing a corn tortilla instead of a flour. Like your heart just breaks. It's not nearly as good.
My wife would disagree with you on that, but yes, I am 100% in agreement with you. I think it's disappointing. My brother-in-law used to work at the Mission Tortilla Factory making quesadillas. He would stand there in there making quesadillas, so people would watch him make quesadillas, and that was it. He didn't give them to try the quesadillas. I don't know what they did with them. They weren't for the guests. That's a disappointing experience.
So, like,
especially if you've just been to the bakery.
Where they have, like, in the corner, they have this person like showing you how to do it, like
Yeah.
that sort of thing. Yeah. That is weird. Like, I
All
don't
right,
know how to
Luke.
make a quesadilla. I'm like, put cheese on the tortilla. Congratulations, you're done.
Thank you for the cooking lesson. Luke points out the whole thing is open now. You can walk in, grab the bread, and get out of there, which is what we do. All right, let's get back to Disneyland Paris, which is where all the action is happening this week. Kyle, a Luca-themed expansion of Pizzeria Belle Notte. Is it really called Pizzeria Belle Notte?
Yeah.
So it's already themed to Lady and the Tramp?
Yeah.
And now they've added a Luca-themed expansion?
Italy is Italy, my man.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Italy, my man.
So yeah, we knew that this was coming. I don't think we necessarily knew it was happening right now. So luckily Jeremiah was still there and was able to snap some photos for us. And when we say themed, I mean they put up some murals and stuff. It looks really nice, but it's not, deep theming.
They didn't put a Vespa inside or anything like that.
I don't think so. There's no fish monster that no walk around.
Well, there is a fish monster, but no, he doesn't walk. So you can check this out if you want to see tons of pictures of the new Luca expansion at Pizzeria Belle Notte. Thank you, Jeremiah, who is just working so hard for us out in Paris. I feel for him being in Paris.
I don't know at what point he might. I don't know if he's still in France or he's headed to Germany, I believe. So we'll.
What's Disney in Germany?
The Disney 100 exhibit is opening in Hamburg.
Oh, and he's going for that?
That's my understanding, but then again, I don't know all the things sometimes.
That's pretty awesome. I hope he has Germany. Have you ever been to Germany?
Not. I've only been to France and England in Europe.
I've been I've not been to England. I've been to France and Belgium for like a day.
One of my favorite facts for a while, up until we went to France, I'd only been to I'd been to Asia and to Europe, but never on the continents of Asia or Europe because I went to Japan and England.
Oh, that's fascinating. That's cool. I like that. That's the fun fact, Kyle. I
Thank
deem
you.
that fun. Staying international over in Hong Kong tomorrow, and with the way time zones work, for all I know, it's yesterday, but tomorrow, Wong and Doctor Strange will be making their first appearance there, from what I understand. Does that sound right, Kyle?
That sounds correct. Yeah. In fact, I was trying to look this up and I didn't. I gave up. So I know that they announced Wong was going to be on Marvel Day at Sea, and I don't think that's happened yet. So we thought that was going to be the first appearance, but it looks like this will be the first appearance instead.
Wow, that's pretty awesome. Cool. So who are we sending to cover this? Do you know?
I don't think anybody, because I feel like we should all be in America for a minute until we send somebody to Paris again next month.
Are we real? Who, you?
No, not me. I wanted to be at home for a little bit, so one of our other staff members might be going.
Wow. I want that one.
Or team members. Let's not say staff members. Team members. We're like Universal.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not cast members?
Because they don't act. They're not good with improv.
Can we need a new term. I mean, I agree staff is too generic, but team is too universal. Cabal members?
No, that sounds nefarious.
All right. Yes, Gio, just keep sending Jeremiah. Just keep going. American Idol had some episodes filmed at Aulani a while ago. We talked about that when it happened, and those episodes are not there, are now going to be airing on Sunday and Monday on ABC. So if you want some cool views of Aulani, laughing members, we sent some laughing. Try again, Donna. Thank you. Hi, Donna, by the way. I don't appreciate your use of the M word there, but I'm glad you're at Disneyland having a good time. So these are going to be airing on Sunday and Monday on ABC. If you want some views of Disney's Aulani Resort in Hawaii, I'm sure there will be lots of synergy going on there, so you can get some really cool looks at what that looks like. Be surprised if there's not a lot of Aulani promotion there.
There's going to be, yeah, just the synergy.
Can't say energy without, no, you can't, never mind. And then finally, going on now, at Walt Disney World, starting this morning with the 5K and continuing on through the weekend. It is Run Disney time, fun time if you're into it, pain in the butt for traffic if you're not into it. But Run Disney 5K was this morning. There'll be a 10K tomorrow and a 10-miler, the Disney Pixar Toy Story 10-miler on Sunday. I know our friend Anita is out there for, I'm not sure which of the races she's doing. I know she did the 5K this morning. I'm not sure what else she'll be doing. But yeah, just be aware when you're out at Walt Disney World.
What's weird about this is the original idea behind Springtime Surprise is that they brought back races that had been defunct. So the reason that there was a 10-miler is because back in the day, there was a Tower of Terror 10-miler. So then this year they brought back Springtime Surprise, but they just decided to make it like any other race weekend, basically, but just give it a Pixar theme. So there's a 10-miler, but not for the original. So I don't know. It's still cool. It's great for them to make money. And I know we enjoy doing the races. We did the 10K last year. I think Becca actually did the 10-miler and maybe the 5 and the 10K last year or 2 years ago. Whenever we went to the Star Cruiser. So I guess it was last year.
Run Disney is one of those things I don't quite get. I don't run, but if I did, I don't get the appeal, and I'm not criticizing. I just literally don't get the appeal of spending, 5 times more than you would at your local race to be able to do it at Disney. So maybe you could help me understand that, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. Like if you've never done a race before, like the amount of entertainment they put on the course and just like the number of people you have cheering you on something, it's really motivating, and it does end up being fun. And the other thing that's nice is like Disney doesn't have very high, like there is still a pacing requirement, but it's relatively low, and it's also based on like the last person. So if you work your way up in the corral, then you have a little bit extra time. But no, the downside is that they're super expensive. Like we just did, I did 10K, Becca did a half marathon in our, in Springfield, Missouri. And we came like with a sweatshirt and a beanie and whatever. And it was, for the two of us, was like less than a single 5K cost for Disney.
Yeah, and that's the part. I've done a few Run Disneys. I've done an ESPN 5K and a couple of the Tower of Terror races back in the day, and I don't regret it. They were fun. But if I were a hardcore, I love to run, I love to do run events, I can't see myself ever saying, yeah, let's sign up for the whole Run Disney slate and spend, $3,000 through the Run Disney slate every year.
And it's not that. Oh, like the whole every race.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That can get $3,000.
People do.
$3,000.
People do. People most
I know
do.
some of those people. I know someone who's a friend of Benji. I don't know her that well, honestly, but she one year went to the 5K, flew to New York for a D23 event, came back for the 10K, flew back to New York for a different D23 event, and then came back. And I think she ended up missing one because I think rain delayed one of the races or something. But I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted just saying that.
Yeah. But I'm glad people do. I truly am glad people do. I know some people that do, and I love the whole Run Disney thing. Okay. So Donna with the Disneyland update. Hootie's Ethan. We've got Donna. Disneyland is overcast. Doesn't say rain in the forecast, but a light misty rain in the early evening through the night, and the same up at Universal last night. See, you can say it without the M word. Thank you, Donna. All right. I think that's our show, Kyle.
Sounds good.
I'm seeing a tweet right now from Scott Gustin that the Imagine key, which is the SoCal key at Disneyland, is now sold out for new purchases. So only the Inspire key is currently available at Disneyland for new purchases. All are still available for renewals. So there is your latest Disneyland Resort Magic Key / Annual Pass update. Thank you, Scott.
Sounds good. I checked it an hour ago and it was there. So now.
Yeah. So what do people do? Just live on the page, refresh, tweet. Probably have the tweet ready to go. Just hit and refresh. Thank you, Scott. We like Scott, right, Kyle?
He applauded my Captain America gif. So yes.
All right. I think that's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back on Monday morning.
I might be home. We'll see.
Wow. Cute. But no, Jeremiah, I'm like, can everyone actually be at their home at the same time? Every laughing member? Is that possible?
Every laughing member.
That might not stick.
Bye.